But yeah, I think it's really important to uh, not be afraid to go in dark zone as well. Like if you want something good, don't be on the surface of your brain. Go where is your pain, like your deepest pain in your life. Like for example, your father did die when you were super young. Don't be afraid to go into that if you want to be a good writer. And of course, what was the moment that you were the most happy? I think that writing is like acting. When you look to an actor and they ask them the question, "Oh, did you cry?" Well, the actor will say, "I was not thinking of the scene, what was happening with the characters. I don't give a shit. I'm not affected. That's fiction. But I was thinking what my father died 2 years ago of cancer, and that's the same thing with writing a story. You need to go and do those deep moments that will put you in stress. If you stay in
No, I
surface and you
agree.
just like punching bad guys and stuff like that, it's won't be good, and it's not your book at some point because you did not put your blood into those pages. So for me, what we do is actually I do like a first script version that has like a minimal number of pages that we
Hmm.
put together, and after I print those pages, I put it on the wall right here, and I do a puzzle, and I say what's missing, what's the missing link in those things, because I'm obsessed with plot holes and stuff like that, and I'm just like,
Right.
okay, we're gonna put that, and I'm gonna put that, and after I go with a second script, which is where we complete the masterpiece. and, and once I did my puzzle on the walls, or sometimes posted, like you see posted there, it's
Yeah,
just me
yeah.
building some stuff. I really work a lot with posted, and that's all I
Me
put my
too.
story.
Index cards, post-its.
Because because the first step I do is actually, and probably you do the same thing because you work with post-it. I do like a one like dots for every page, like page one, page two, page three, page four, and that's I just write one line of what's happened there, and that's my bull of the books before going to script. And after I go in those crazy director's cut type of shit, I expand the book. And that first one, I think the expansion of that book was more due to stress. I was really stressed. Released my first graphic novel as a creator, and I just did go crazy and really crazy. I think I might have done like some depression and shit with that book. I don't know, but I did just go crazy and really wanted to do a masterpiece. And well, I'm super happy with it. I think it could not have done something better. And the critic, the readers did love it. And when I go on a podcast with someone and did read it, we can talk for 2 hours of all the metaphor and shit we did put into it. And that's something that. And there was one reviewer that said this comics is art and not a comic book, and that's kind of the biggest compliment I can say to someone. So if someone has been so stressed about that book while creating it and always making 50 version of it and changing everything and being sure that it is perfect, that was kind of the biggest compliment I can say to someone that has been that stage but yeah, it's go back to trust yourself and be confident, I guess, of what you're doing. And I'm not the most confident person as well. I just said I was so stressed that I did 50 version of a book, but at the end, you can be stressed in the process because I think stress bring you to think even more and put out the best product. That's part of creating something, to be stressed and not confident while you're in the process. But stress is more like a moment of not confident. It's not like on the journey you're not confident. It's
Yeah, that
just
forces you to
you
overthink and think of these plot holes and fill the gaps and
right.
insert a callback in the end that you added to the beginning and just play around. So your bullet points for your pages that you do prior to script, would you say that these bullet points are going to be your outline? So before you go into the script, do you have, you know, 30, 40, 50 bullet points that you're going to then take and say, all right, this is my Bible, this is my story
Right.
Bible, this is what I'm going to work off of when I start writing the script? It's essentially
That
how you're working. Okay.
yeah, that exactly what I do. And after I go
Yeah.
with my director's cut for freakiness,
Yeah.
but but yeah, I think it's really important to not be afraid to go in dark zone as well. Like when I write, if you want something good, don't be on the surface of your brain. Go where is your pain, like your deepest pain in your life. Like for example, your father did die when you were super young. Don't be afraid to go into that if you want to be a good writer.
You have
If
to.
you and of course, happiness moment. What was the moment that you were the most happy? It's the same thing for. I think that writing is like acting. When you look to an actor and they say, they ask them the question, "How did you cry?" Well, the actor will say, "I was not thinking of the scene, what was happening with the characters, and I don't give a shit. I'm not affected. That's fiction. But I was thinking what my father died 2 years ago of cancer, for example." And that's the same thing with writing a story. You need to go and do those deep moments, and will put you in stress because you're sharing your personal thought. I think that when you read a book of someone, and you should, you can actually understand the life of someone if you go really into analytic and stuff like that, and that's
Yeah,
what make a book interesting. If you stay in
no, I
surface and you
agree.
just like punching bad guys and stuff like that, it's won't be good, and it's not your book at some point because you did not put your blood into those pages, and
Yeah,
I
you
think
have to
that's
put your
something.
pain and your tears and your happiness all into it to create an
Yeah,
empathetic character or sympathetic character. Create empathy in your character to make you read the book and fall in love and feel that character's pain. You have to hit things that you're pulling out of your heart and pouring onto the page. And a lot of times it's things that you, I, everybody, your readers can relate to. The pain
totally.
of loss, the pain of love, suffering, love lost, heartbreak. These are all things that you need to learn, and you'll learn as you do it and get better at it. But you need to learn how to harness as you're in there writing the character. You need to make it real. You need to hit these points home. And if you can do that as a writer, I mean that's the game, right? That's the
Right.
game.
And we live in a cliche world, so we all have our the same pain at some point. If we go deepest, for example, you have an heartbreak that you, if you're heterosexual, gay, or whatever your orientation, it's still an heartbreak.
Yeah.
So
Everybody can relate to it. Across
it's the
it,
same
no, it
thing.
knows no boundary.
The death of someone is the same thing. So is don't be afraid to share it, because anyone will relate. We're all human beings. You're not selling your book to Martian.
Yeah. No, you can't be afraid. I mean, unless you want a gray book with no, heart
Right.
underlying it, you gotta pour your soul out. You gotta poke your heart and fill your pen with the ink that is your blood.